Hello, welcome to the next episode of Kirsty B's Me. And today I have the one and only John McCreary. I would love to tell you all about him, but I'm going to let him do that himself. So, welcome, John. Thank you so much for joining us today. Why don't
I
you tell everybody a bit about you?
First off, about me is the level of excitement I have to be here.
I'm buzzing.
I'm super excited. This is just going to be great. Yeah, so I'm the long story short, I'm a professional photographer and videographer. I work for an NHL hockey team out here, and then I also do independent photography and videography, including working on a documentary that I'm hoping to finally get into production for pretty soon here. And I am an avid traveler, which is how I ended up in the ether of England amongst people on social media. And I'm pretty old now, so I've lived quite a life, and just taking my experiences in stride.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you for that. I mean, from what I know about you, other than the fact that you're a photographer, videographer, you film on your drone, and you're an advocate for the MS warriors. And that is a, a key part of the documentary that I know that you've done. Now, multiple sclerosis, since being on TikTok, is one of the biggest support groups that I've seen. An incredible amount of support and just the family vibe you get from everybody on there. So, can you talk about a bit about why you got into that side of the documentary and why MS?
Yeah, so I was close friends with somebody, and I'm still friends with her. And she basically was telling me about MS. And before she told me anything about MS, I didn't know anything about it. I would confuse it with scoliosis, which is a disorder with your spine and your back. And I really didn't know anything about it. I've heard bits and pieces of it here and there, but didn't know anything about it. She started telling me about it and told me her story, how she was fine. And then one day playing with her kid, her legs just gave out. And then she was told she was never going to walk again. And then she was in the hospital for a month relearning to walk. Unfortunately, in the years since then, she's back to a wheelchair full time. But it made me realize there's so much to this. And I started to learn about it. And then as I'm learning about it, for someone I'm online all the time for work, and how little I heard about it really got under my skin. And I hated that. So I wanted to find a way to contribute, but I'm not a millionaire. So it's not like I can just start shoveling money over to places. So I thought of a way that I can contribute and help spread awareness with the things I know how to do. And that's how the documentary came about. Initially, it was supposed to be just one film. And then I started meeting all these people with all these incredible stories. Many of the people you as well know. And I was like, I can't, if I do this in one film, it's either going to be a 12-hour film, or everyone's going to get 5 minutes to say, hi, I'm such and such, I have MS by. And I want people to have their chance to be in the limelight and explain what they go through on a regular basis. And it just, the more I joke around all the time, the more I learn about it, the less I know. And
It's a complex condition.
it is. It really is. It affects everybody differently. And some days you'll see people and have no idea what they're going through. So I wanted to just help be a voice in any way that I possibly can.
It's amazing. When this comes out, I'll also link in the documentary if that's possible.
Yeah, it's actually going to air right here on my YouTube page, which is also the same place I host my podcast as well. And it's going to start off there, and we'll just hope it takes off enough. And it's not a monetary thing for me. It's just I want the exposure out there for not just my friends with it, but everybody.
I think, I mean, the people that I'm speaking to on this podcast all have kind of there's a theme going. I said it in the last episode where it's all about networking, and it's the driving force for people, for you guys, is community and just wanting to be part of people's lives. It's not about money, and it's not about fame. It's about doing something important with the power that you have. You know, you're in a position where you can get messages out for other people. And I just find that incredible. I also know that you're an advocate, as most should be, to be honest with you, but an advocate for mental health. So could you tell us a little bit about that side of things, how that's important for you and what you're doing?
I mean, I got into that because nobody needed more mental health help than me. I grew up in my family situation. It's not one I ever looked for pity on, but it's my situation, and it affected me. And it's one of those things when you think about it growing up, you don't realize it's affecting you. And I got into my 20s and I was just acting out in ways like I never got into drugs. I've never smoked a cigarette or done anything like that. I would drink, but not even excessively. It's not like I would have to have one or anything. I was just, I guess, partying. But like I would just on my in my real life, I would just act out or I would just really keep people at a distance. And I got married in my mid 30s, early mid 30s, and just realized my mental health was just really depleting. And it finally dawned on me that I needed help. I mean, I'll be honest with you, in my 20s, I was a dickhead. I'm sorry if I can't swear on here.
You can swear.
I wasn't a great person. I wasn't using people. I wasn't robbing or stealing or anything. I couldn't get anything going. And it was just for a litany of reasons. And then in my 30s, when I was married, I just realized it was going really poorly, and the marriage didn't help with that. And that's kind of its own fun story. But and so I was just started inquiring into mental health help and seeing a therapist. And when I finally started going to therapy, I mean, within the next 6 to 7 months, I just started finding myself get traction, and I realized how much it helped me. And I know therapy is not for everybody, but acknowledging that you might need help is. And so it's important. So I started doing my videos on TikTok, which you're one of the first people I always share them to because I know you appreciate them. And if I put out a video or if I say something or if on my podcast we're talking about something, if it resonates with just one person, then that's a success. And that's all I'm looking to do is it's getting my story out there just so other people could say, oh, okay, I could talk about what's going on with me. This guy's talking about it.
So, with going through this journey where a lot of it's on social media, and I suppose maybe 50% of your career is that side versus the photography and videography. Why do you do like why do you do that side? Why have you chosen the social media side? I mean, I assume, I shouldn't assume, but I assume that when you looked at careers and you wanted to be a videographer and photographer, that's an easy thing to sort of gauge and get into. What made you do this part as well? Is it something that you're passionate about, or
it never was. I got into social media back when I was in bands, like back in MySpace. If I can go ahead and just really start talking about how old I am. Yeah. I had my band had a MySpace. I had MySpace. And I was like, man, this is kind of a cool thing. When I was in college, there was something called, I want to say myyearbook.com. That was like one of the first ones.
I've no
Yeah,
idea? You've lost
it
me.
was it was like that. Like not a lot of people know about that, and I was just like, oh, this is kind of a cool way to talk to people. And yeah, social media was always just kind of a fun thing. And then again, it was actually honestly, it wasn't until COVID I realized
Everybody's mentioning COVID.
because we were all home and had
It's
nothing else to do. And
yeah,
then our brains just all kind of clicked, said, oh, I can reach out to a lot of people this way. Because you look at TikTok was dances and people getting hit by cars because they're doing the
musically used to
dances.
be called music.
Is that what it used to be?
Yeah, musically.
That explains the logo. See, I never
Yeah,
knew that.
yeah.
Yeah, so I just got into it so I can reach out to more people, and I couldn't really go anywhere. And during COVID was tough because I was an essential worker, so I didn't get any of the government kickbacks. So I had to drain my savings just to stay alive. And I was only like really covering, like here we had a lot of the protests and things like that going on and no sports or anything. So I
Yeah.
used social media to reach out, and I was struggling during COVID. Like I said, I drained my savings. I had nothing. And I was like, there's more people out there that are going through this. Like, let's just start talking to people.
So what was
And
your turning point? So you've spoken about having nothing, and
mhm.
I think a lot of the stories, there's always a turning point where you like have that, in the movie realization of I can actually do this. You finally get like a belief in yourself. So what happened?
So while I was in my photo career at that time, because mind you, I've only been doing photography for 9 years now, maybe 10 years from start to now. It's not like something I've always done. And during COVID, when everything was shut down, finally, I was also running gyms. So I was running those things. I ran gyms now up to this date collectively for almost 15 years. And when gyms opened up, right when I was like at the end of my savings, gyms opened up and I was like, okay, I need to go get a job. And I went back to working for gyms, and then I started using my photo and video skills to help promote that the gyms were open for the ones I was running, and started putting together, like I did video. Sorry for the tangent. Like the way I got into video was making
Boom.
making videos for high school athletes trying to get into college. Here in the US, college sports is like people's first goal before being a professional,
Yeah.
which I know is very different. everywhere else in the
I
world.
see it in the movies. That's all I learn about America is from the movies, and
Yeah,
you know
for
how
me,
accurate they are.
well, I mean, for in these kind of things, it really is. Like for me, growing up, as I was a hockey and baseball player, I was a lot better at baseball than I was hockey, and but I liked hockey way better, and so I got the chance to go play hockey for a college. Like that was the goal, and so, but so I knew what getting recruited and scouted was like. So I started making videos for high school kids when in 2008 when we were having a recession, but I didn't know anything. You know, I was just doing it on the side, and it was very bare minimum. It wasn't anything else taken seriously. It was just a way for me to make some extra scratch. But yeah, so during COVID, I realized like my video skills were getting pretty decent, and I was like, oh, okay, I might be able to start doing this. And then I realized everything like jobs started coming out for content creators and social media managers, which when social media first came out, it's like, there's no money in this. It's like there'll never be careers in this. Almost like when our parents were saying, you're never going to make money playing video games. And now here people
Where all
are
the money is.
now here people are playing video games for money. Like how wrong were parents? But same kind of thing. I looked at it as like social media. I'm like, that'll never, unless you make an app, you're never going to make money.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
people are.
it's changed over the years how you make money, and it's easy to get conned, and therefore it's easy to get conned, and it's difficult for people that are genuine to put themselves out there. It's a bit of a mishmash at the minute. I think a lot of people would like that quick buck, as they
Mhm.
say, you know. But it comes. I mean, there's so many setbacks. I mean, every market seems to be oversaturated. People don't know if they're going to get conned, if it's going to be worthwhile. It's more like a gamble these days, isn't it? To pick that kind of thing. Where do you see yourself going with your skill set and with your experience and the way tech is going now? Where's John McCreary in 5 years' time?
So I love that you
Hopefully
asked that.
one hoodie down because you've
Well,
promised me a hoodie.
clearly, yeah, that might be a couple hoodies down at this point with interest. But I love that you asked that question because I am hyper focused on the future along with what I do now, and I think that's my anxiety saying, "Hey, don't get comfortable." But with everything, like in the next year, I want this MS doc to be done and out. People to be getting aware of what this illness is and what people are going through. I would love to extend the project if I can, but the initial thing is the first 6, 7, 8 episodes I'm going to do. But then after that, I've always it's funny. I hated school. I did if it wasn't for sports. Yeah, if it wasn't for sports, I never would have went to college. I didn't care about college. I was an athlete in college, and I didn't do any of my own work. Like I was like a quote unquote big dog in college. It was like I was when you're there to play sports, people will do your work for you. So you maintain your GPA and can stay on the team. And I got out of there and I didn't realize how much I robbed myself of learning things because I've always loved learning something as long as I was interested in it. If I'm not interested in it, it's so hard to keep my attention. So, with me wanting to continue learning, I want to document me learning things. And so after this, I would love to like everyone's got the goal of having a house with a picket fence and dogs and kids and all this other stuff. I honestly I would love living in one of those nice travel vans and traveling all over North America and visiting small towns and talking about their culture and the people there. I'm not talking about ghost towns or like poverty ridden towns, which they need attention too. It's nothing against them, but just those small towns that stay with their cultures and how they are inclusive with things and stuff like that and like their family values and then coming out there and doing the same thing. Like when I come out, I've been out to England 3 times. I told you I've yet to visit London.
Yeah,
I come there and I go to small areas and just I love learning about them and the history you guys have. I'm so fascinated.
but
Like
it has its charms.
it does, and it's funny because I pick on my friends from England because they're always like, "It sucks here. Why do you want to come here?" And 75% of the pictures I have hanging in my place are pictures I take when I'm there.
I
And
mean, you were meant to be in London.
I mean, I do need to visit London. Congratulations, Kirsty. You can be my tour guide,
Yay me!
and we'll document the whole thing. But that's kind of what I want to keep doing. I just want to keep making videos and photos. I love working for the NHL team because being a hockey guy, I've been now officially in hockey every year since I was 2 years old. So it's 44 straight years I've been involved in hockey.
Dedication.
Yeah, it's something I love, but everything has an expiration date. So when that well runs dry, I want to just go and find new places and learn about them. And so that's kind of the next thing in 5 years to keep doing that. And of course, still have my new podcast that I have with my friend Cliff, which has been a friend of mine for almost 15 years now. So, which we're having a blast with.
Oh, amazing. Can I dive a little bit deeper into a conversation?
Hit me.
Do you think that anxiety and the problems that you've had with mental health have halted your progress in projects?
So let's take the documentary, for example. I went full into it. And then there was a ripple in my friendship with the person who introduced me to it. Then there was also I had a person in the documentary that I had to remove because they're making racist and homophobic. And I didn't want that to represent everybody. Had a private conversation with this person. I didn't tell a single soul these things were happening. And they blew it up and went crazy on it. And I have a fundraiser for the travel portion. The United States is an extremely large place. So I had a fundraising for the travel portion and they attacked that. And that, of course, brings down my morale and my mental health. And I couldn't even try and push through it because I just didn't have it in me. And luckily and thankfully, the close friends I have in the EMS group were like, no, we get it. Like, because they saw it all happening as well. And so, but I always feel like I'm letting them down. And that part terrifies me. And not that I think any of them would end friendships over it, but I see what they're going through all the time. Like Adam, for example, like Adam's a tremendous story. And I'm like, he can do this. Like,
Hoping to have him on one day.
he'll definitely do it.
Yeah.
He'll definitely do it. But I just see him working so hard every single day and he inspires me. And that's why anytime people are like, John, if you don't do this, it's okay. And I'm like, there's no way I'm not doing this. So my mental health, just with that project alone, has affected me. And there's been times where I've been absent from social media completely, not because I was busy, because I was decompressing. It had nothing to do with social media. Granted, a lot of stuff happens there and there's a lot of little explosions and fires that happen on social media. But I'm not one of those people. It's like, I need a social media break. Like, I've never been that guy.
So I'm very similar to you in the sense of the decompression. I use that word a lot because it takes a lot of a battery that I didn't know for ages existed in me. I didn't know it was depleted. My mind would go to a place that it shouldn't have been. And with people wanting to get into the side that the public can see them and not only see them, judge them and rate them, it's a very heavy toll on the old mental health. So a lot of these discussions, because I'm speaking to people from different sectors of social media, entrepreneurship, all the different apps, I'm trying to get the message out there that we're all facing the same things and we can help each other rather than hurt each other. Now, for somebody that's looking at you and what you've done and wants to be the next John in all of his glory, go with me on this for a second. What advice would you give somebody bearing in mind that mental health can easily be affected at the drop of a hat?
Pretty simple. I think the thing that pushes me all the time is I'm extremely tenacious, and they have to be, because with social media and the weight it bears and the attacks it has, if you're not tenacious, you're down for the count in round one. You're not going any further. And it's a fight. And that's why sometimes you need a little vacations. That's why sometimes you need a little bit of a break. But if you're not, and that goes for starting a business, starting a social media page at all. If you just want to play video games, you're never exempt from abuse. And you're never exempt from people attacking you. And it took a long time for me to learn. And another thing I would tell somebody else is just like, remember, if everybody loves you, you're doing something wrong. But if you have a lot of people that are trying to bring you down, you're doing a lot right. And it sucks that has to be a mindset because of those other people. But it
does. And I have the thinnest skin on earth. And it has taken a lot to learn that people say things that they know will hurt your feelings. It's not even the things that they think. It's just, I'm going to use this word because it's really going to upset them. And it's like pouring gasoline, lighting a match and walking away and going, bye, have fun putting that out. And I can't understand people like that, but they are.
That's the person I used to be in my 20s. That was me. Like, that's what I mean, is I was hurting so bad from the inside. I just wanted to hurt everybody else.
I'm so glad you've admitted that, because that's what people are saying. People say that trolls are just people that are hating the world and in pain. And I mean, would you, if you were John back then? Like, how did you snap out of? And I say snap out of it like it was an easy thing to do, but like, what happened for that mentality to change?
I got to a point where I was regularly thinking about ending my life. And it was every day. That was the most popular thought. And my thought wasn't like as a cry for help. Like I didn't tell anybody. Nobody really knew. And I got to a point where that's all I wanted. My friend Cliff that I was coaching with, he saw a breakdown in me in New Mexico, like a real hard breakdown. And when we were coaching out there, and then, we moved on, and I spent most of my time hiding it instead of facing it. And then I was just thinking about it all the time. And I was married and I was thinking about it. And that's all I wanted to do because I felt I was such a burden on everybody. And I was like, if this happens, everything's gonna be better for my friends if I'm not here. And I had the mindset of if I were gone tomorrow, who would notice? And so it was just kind of this one day where there was nothing really happening. And I was just like, I shouldn't be thinking like that. Like it shook me up. And I think it was something as small as I came home from work or something, and my dogs were freaking out because I was home. And they were so happy to see me. And I was like, oh man, I love that my dogs would see me.
Did you hear that
And
click? That was my elbow.
that I honestly God thought you dropped a book on the floor.
That was my elbow.
Well, Kirsty's, we got
I'm
to call.
39. I'm getting old.
Hey, I'm older than you, so you don't get to say that.
Sorry.
My God, did your arm break in half?
No, it just clocked though.
Good Lord. But I hit that one day where I was like, man, my dogs are this excited to see me. I shouldn't be thinking like that. And that's when I started looking into therapy and started talking to somebody. Like I had to give myself a chance. And I had to kind of fight for myself before I can do anything for anybody else.
Are you
So,
proud of yourself?
like I really am. I still have bad days. I still have those dark thoughts sometimes out of nowhere.
I was hoping you would say yes, because otherwise I was going to be like, well, you should be.
I mean, I'm sitting here talking to you right now. I think life's going pretty outstanding, Kirsty.
I'm the one that feels honored right now. So
Well, you know what's funny is you're sitting there saying how people do that and like how you have thin skin. That was actually, I think, the biggest thing I've learned about you since I've known you. Because I see you on your lives and you're always laughing and smiling, and everybody is so thrilled to see you. And that I almost feel like that should be
not everyone.
like when Popeye, I don't know if you guys had Popeye out there as a cartoon, but he ate his spinach and got strong. Like that would I just see in everybody's just like Kirsty, everyone's so happy and so complimentary. And obviously there's trolls everywhere. But if like honestly, maybe you just are a master at hiding it too, because
Yeah.
you seem so like strong and just like happy to be there all the time. And I know we're all going through stuff, and you and I have talked before, but I think knowing that you have thin skin, that's actually a big shock to me because I would have never guessed that. Now, let me also let it be known, if there's anybody who ever hurts you, I will declare war, and I will not rest.
I'll keep names under my hat. I won't.
Yeah, absolutely. Just put them on a wall.
Yeah.
And
no, I am. So this week, so you're probably the third person I've told, and now it's going to be posted, which is fine. But I had a huge conversation with my mom this week,
Mhm.
and lately I've been feeling things that are from my childhood, and I was feeling like neglected, and not in a bad way, not like I was starving for food or anything like that, but she went through a divorce when we were really young, and we weren't spoken to. We were kind of just like, they're so young, they won't understand. We just weren't spoken to. And
Mhm.
it's coming out now. So I'm ridiculously sensitive. I just sit back and shush even if people hurt me. And it's all stemmed from this particular reason. And it just came out, and I actually spoke to my mum about it. So that was a huge thing for me, to have my feelings validated. And like, you're not crazy, Kirsty. Like I get.
Yeah, and then to have that I mean, it's almost rewarding to realize what it was, especially on your own. Like it's like, oh wow, that was the thing. Like it sucked it happened then, but when you're able to kind of step back and self-reflect, that's a healing process in its own, is self-reflection. And I mean, you're not going to get better until you're realizing what the things were that chipped away at you.
That's what I mean. Where you say I'm very happy and jolly and like people drive me.
Mhm.
So I very much work in an empathetic way. Whereas if people are happy to see me, I'm happy to see them. But in the same way, a troll can bring my mood down like that in a
Mhm.
heartbeat. So I'm sensitive in that way. But I've always had this happy disposition, even as a kid. But it's from a trauma. The thing is I'm a weirdo and I'm a misfit because of trauma, which is do I even want to fix it? Because who will I be at the end of it if I wasn't traumatized?
Well, first of all, being weird is cool now.
It is.
That's the new thing. So don't stop being weird. I don't think you're weird, but that might say
No, I
something
am, but
about
it's
myself.
fine.
Yeah, that might be saying something about me is what it is if I don't see you as weird. But yeah, and
Quirky. We'll call it
yeah.
quirky.
Oh, there we go. That's the friendliest way to put it. But I'll be honest with you, Kirsty, is I was telling somebody this the other day. I have a real hard time leveling and relating to people who have had a privileged and cushy life. Because if you're having a bad day, they have no idea how to handle it. Or if they have a bad day for once, then it's a real problem. And so I have a lot of respect for people who are going through it. I don't want that for them. I don't want my worst enemies to be going through bad things. But I do also know that if the time comes, that person and I can see eye to eye and say, okay, I understand. And that's a hard thing to be also self-aware enough to know that I need to relax because I'm having a time right now.
Yeah. And I think one thing I would really love to come from all of this and all of this discussion with so many different people around similar subjects is that if you're angry or you feel like you've been wronged, you don't have to bite back.
Mm-mm.
It's like it's not essential. You can just go, and you living in a negative space, you're just feeding poison.
Hmm.
And it's pointless. Like if you really sit back and think about it, like what does it get you? People think you're negative and it will like hit back on you. Like honestly, just you're fine.
Hmm.
Just forget and walk away. It's
My my dad
it's
taught me
reasonable.
something when I was really young. My dad passed away when I was 16. By that point, not even the first traumatic thing I'd already been through. Again, you don't realize these things till you get older. But my dad had a conversation with me because I used to argue with everybody. Even in sports, I was a hot-headed person. People make jokes. It's like, well, John was always angry. That's why he did so well in hockey because it's a physical sport. And I'm look back and I'm just like, I was crazy. Like I wish I wasn't that kind of person. I might have actually been good at the sport. But my dad told me my dad used a different word, but I'll adjust it for this. My dad was like, if you're in the middle of the street arguing with a complete idiot and a stranger walks by, the stranger has no idea who the idiot is. And it's just like, what's the point of doing that when if you just move on your way, it saves you the stress, it saves you the annoyance. Because especially if you're in a situation going back and forth with somebody, there's no winning.
You'll
So,
never calm them down. You'll never calm down. Just get some reflection. It's
mhm,
fine. You're cool.
just move on.
Just
You
move
don't
on.
need to get in there.
But it's coming from somebody that's been in an angry place for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's really good advice.
Yeah, it's funny because I used to want to fight all the time, that's for sure, and
But
I
it
just don't
takes
have the
something
time.
like that to change, which is at the end of the day, the lessons that you have learned have made you the person you are now. So
And still work in progress.
still, we all are. We're all mosaic piece at
I
this rate.
like that.
Take a little step back, and you'll see the picture.
Yeah,
It's when you
absolutely,
focus on the little pieces.
and that's the thing is, like, self-growth and healing and growing never ends, just like learning never ends, and once you feel like you've reached capacity, that's a bad thing, so
Okay, well, the episodes are 30 minutes long, and believe it or not, we've been talking for 30.
wow, look at that, we have.
Goes in the blink of an eye.
It does.
But I would probably like to dive deeper into the mental health side of things on another episode if you're comfortable with.
100%. I've reached a point in my life where I'll tell anybody any of my experiences, even if I was the bad one in them. Like I'm happy to do that because again, at the end of the day, if someone is listening and they're like, "Okay, I've been through that and that helps me," that's all that
Yeah.
matters.
Well, I mean, to have somebody like yourself on the show, even before I knew that you were a troll yourself and you were that asshole for a good 20 something years, to have somebody like that that's come to the other side of it, you'll be an inspiration for people like that. So it all helps at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's all I want. If my experiences can help somebody out, that's all I want.
And you've helped me out a huge lot. I mean, nobody knows this, but John has
Mhm.
been the one that's introduced me to this side of it. So thank you
I
so
think this is
much.
going to go so. I can't tell you how excited I am for all these to start coming out, just because just seeing you talk to people for over the just TikTok alone. So to be able to watch you in a real intimate one-on-one situation, I just think it's going to be. I just can't wait. I can't wait for all these to start coming out.
Thank you. Me too. I'm very excited. But
You're
you'll
going to
be
be
on one of
great.
them now. So
I know. I'll still watch it. I'll just mute myself if I can.
no, don't mute yourself. Please don't. But thank you. I'm not going to hang up. I'll just wrap up. But everybody, this has been the incredible John McCreary joining Kirsty B's Me. And until next time, thank you so much.
Thank you so much
Thank,
for having me here.
thank you for joining me.